Hey, this is Rocket Brain Surgeon. We're looking at the T54E1. This is a Tier 9 US medium tank characterized by solid mobility, very comfortable soft stats with that awesome gun depression, and an autoloader. We're following Garbat around, and I want to take a look, before I really get into the review of the tank, I want to take a look at how he's going to play it. So he's going to a place where he expects a lot of tanks early in the engagement, and what we're going to see is he's going to impose his will on the game very early. He made some remarks when the game started up that he needed to carry hard, and so he's going to try and empty the clip as soon as possible. So he's going to take a bit of damage here, and he's forced to burn his repair kit. However, he got all 4 shots off. The T54E1 holds 4 shots in the clip, dealing 390 damage a piece, so he got roughly 1200 damage off and took 500 damage in return. That's a pretty good trade. He was using his hit points as a resource, being very aggressive to try and gain a local superiority in this area. We're going to see how this local superiority spreads throughout the map. Now that he's reloaded, he's pushing forward to eliminate the Pershing, however the Pershing dies. After that, now you have this collection of 5 tanks in a small area ready to push forward to the rest of the map. Eliminating the Su-122-44 ahead of him, now everybody can flood forth. When you look at the mini-map, you're going to see that the tanks that are able to push through in the middle because of this local superiority are now going to be able to flank the enemy wherever they hide. And it's going to quickly create a snowball where you get just more numbers focusing on less tanks. And this snowball effect is directly attributable to Garbat, who jumped out in front of his teammates and was able to get the ball rolling by trading some of his HP for damage on the enemy. He was able to create a favorable trade in hit points. He did over 2 times what he took and greatly reduced the fighting capabilities of the tanks in front of him. And now the game is just spiraling out of control for the red team. As they clean up, let's talk about the T54E1's attributes a little bit. It's listed as a medium tank, but doesn't really participate in the traditional medium role. It doesn't have really good camouflage, it doesn't have good mobility, it's kind of large. The tank does have a couple of things that are going for it. For example, its large hit point pool. It has the same amount of hit points as the AMX 5120, which is a Tier 9 French heavy. It has an autoloader with 4 shots in the clip as well, and is a pretty good comparison for the T54E1. Some selling points for the T54E1 are that it has very good gun depression, so you can go hull down a fair amount. And while it may not have the thickest armor ever, it does have some pretty good angles all over the tank, especially some extreme auto bounce angles on the turret that are going to give it a surprising amount of protection. It's not something that you can actually rely on too much, but it does provide a nice surprise here and there. A big selling point of the tank is the intra-clip reload time of 2.2 seconds. From the time you start firing until the time you stop firing, you can throw out 1600 damage in 6.6 seconds. That is a lot, and it's capable of spiking out almost all Tier 8 tanks and a lot of Tier 9 tanks that have been damaged. The base round penetration at 210 is one of the lowest in tier and is barely usable. You can do it. It's recommended that you fire APCR, as the accuracy on the gun is also subpar. The best part is that just by loading APCR, you cover up the tank's only real weakness, and you get a surprisingly strong tank out of the deal. I have a few complaints with the tank, but none of them make the tank bad. It's still very, very good. The reticle bloom and the accuracy means you're going to spray some shots around, and the premium ammo only raises the level of penetration up to an acceptable level for a Tier 9 tank. You will be limited in some areas with the lack of penetration. Also, it kind of plays like a heavy-medium mix, not being great at either role. Overall, it's a really strong tank. Garbat wrote up a full review. The link is in the comments. Hope you enjoyed. Happy hunting.